Hey there, welcome back to Manotick StringWorks. So let's have a look on the workbench today. Oh, we have this nice fender case. What's inside? Well, it's not a fender. It's a PRS SE. Missing a lot of stuff. Where'd the switch go? Uh-oh. There's a wiring diagram too, so looks like we might have a lot of work to do. Stay tuned. Welcome to Manotick StringWorks. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for more video content. So just before we get started on this video, just another shameless plug for my string and pickup height gauges. So they're available right now at manotickstringworks.com. I've got about 10 to 15 in stock at the moment. So go check it out in the link in the description below. Thanks for your support. Alright, so let's get started on this PRS. So the owner told me he was installing these new pickups and he got a little turned around with the wiring, I guess. Here's a wiring diagram and the switch is inside or falling out. There we go. So there's a wire here loose already. There's the switch. Okay, so this could be a 5-minute fix. This could be 2 hours chasing down some wiring. So let me get the camera set up, and then I think we'll start by trying to just locate this wire and put it back where it should go, and then see what happens. Okay, well, let's see what we got here. So here's your standard 3-way switch. So the 2 outside lugs should be for one for each of the pickups. The middle one, that usually goes back to the output jack. And this should be the ground on this side, all the ground wires. So this is the claw trim ground, right? So okay, so that's a ground wire. So we can attach that there. Also put on the back of a pot too. But let's see if we put that on there, if that does anything. It probably won't. Oh, I thought the soldering iron was hot enough. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. I'll probably end up redoing all of those, but they're not very clean. Okay, it's on there. Alright, so we're in the middle position. That means both pickups should be operational. I don't see any loose wires anywhere. Everything's soldered that I can see. There's a couple of stray strands I don't like. We'll deal with those in a bit. Okay, let's flip it over. squish anything. Gotta plug it in. See what we got. We got nada. Nothing. Yeah. Okay. Looks like we start at ground zero. Well, to trace everything back, I just gotta make sure everything's connected properly. I'm gonna start by taking this output jack plate off, or unscrewing it, I should say. Make sure that these connections are good. Don't want to be chasing everything else and then realize that one of these connections is incorrect. It might just be reversed, that kind of thing. Alright. So let me bring you in close on this one. Okay, so we have a hot and a ground. So when you look at these output jacks, they're sandwiched between like two insulators. So this is your hot, right, where everything plugs into your jack. So when you plug it in, there we go. So what we want to see is where that goes, and that goes down to the middle in between these two insulators, and that should be the white wire, and it is. And this is the ground. So that wiring looks fine. Now, where do these go? So when I trace this back, I can see that the ground here goes to the ground on the switch, and the hot goes to one of the pots, the tone pot down there. Alright. Okay, now the fun begins. So I'm going to start here on this diagram. So here's the output jack. Perfect. So we're going to see it goes to the tone pot, this lug right here. Okay, so this is going to be the output. And if I look at that, so that's this white wire right here. If I pull that away, yeah, I see that it's attached there. Okay. Then from that lug, we should be going up to the switch, which is this right here. Okay. It's messy, but yeah. Okay, so that's good. Alright. So far, so good. So here I've got my resistor, capacitor, there it is. A cap. That's done correctly. What I am missing here is a bridge ground wire. Aha. This wire that goes to the bridge should be going here to the back of this pot. That could be our first issue. Okay, so let me take that off. Okay. And I'm going to put it right there. Now there is some solder right there, so I wonder if this was on there before. It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just almost pre-soldered. Let me go back. Or it could have been from the previous wiring, the original wiring. Okay, I'm just going to tack that in place. I'm going to put some fresh solder wire here and see if we can clean that up a bit. Okay. Well, I'm just going to keep doing this, you know. Just going to keep trying. That's one thing. Flip it over. Gonna plug it in. Okay, nothing. Alright, so the next thing is when I look on this diagram, I'll put it here, you'll see that we have output wire to the lug, right? So the output wire to the lug. Now this ground wire though, I'm not too sure why that would be up here. It shouldn't be on the switch. Can just put it on the back of a pot. Let's take that off too. And we're going to attach that to the ground we already did on the tone pot. Tin that up a bit. Put a little more solder down here. Let's put that in there. Okay. Let's try that. Plug it in. Oh. Wasn't making that noise before. Okay, tone's working. These aren't working though. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure that we're good here. Up to there. So now the issue is we're not getting any volume from the pickups. So we need to start looking at those connections, right? Right. Okay. So I'm going to look for anything obvious, like stuff falling apart, breaking off. Well, we've got a bit of a rat's nest there, so I think I'm going to pull all this out and just do it on the bench. It'll be a lot easier. Okay, well, undone the nuts. Get these lock washers out of there. My little magnet. There's another one here. Take it off now. Okay, so that's a little easier to see. So the tone one, pretty happy with that. So we're not getting any volume, any signal out of the pickup pots, right? Here we go. Alright, well, I'm going to pull these out as far as I can. Try and deal with them out here on the workbench. So let's have a look here. On the diagram for both pickups, we have green and white are supposed to be soldered together and shrink wrap. So that looks fine. So our red is going to be the signal wire, our black is going to be the ground, and then there's an additional bare wire. Black and bare, so that's showing on here. And they both go to ground, okay. So I'm not sure exactly which pickup is which at the moment. It's got a B on it, so I'm assuming that's bridge, I guess. So if we look at the bridge one, so other than this wire is sort of looped around, probably just take that off and redo it. So if I look at the lugs though, so here's our bridge diagram. So our red, the hot, should be on that first lug on the left. And then we have signal wire that goes to the switch. We have our third lug bent over as our ground. So that's correct. Red on the first lug. This is our signal wire. Aha. Okay, that's fine. It goes to the switch. It should be alone on its own lug. Yep. So that's bridge. And I'm going to just mark it. I'm going to put a little bit of black on it. And then a little bit of black right here, so I know that we're dealing with the same wire. Because it can get confusing. Okay. Doesn't have to be pretty, it's just a visual cue. Okay, so that looks okay. This ground's pretty messy, but the wiring looks okay. And so if we look at the neck, so the neck, here's the diagram. So the neck again showing the hot from the pickup to the first lug. Then we have the wire that goes to the switch. Then we have the ground on the third lug to the pot. And then we have the common grounds here. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got our white and green together. We've got our hot on the first lug. We've got our send wire right to the switch. We've got our lug grounded. Okay. So here's our bare wire. Don't like that, God. And the ground. Okay, that looks fine too. So I'm noticing something here. So these signal wires. Okay, so we've got a signal wire right here. So these are our two signal wires, the two whites. And those come from the pots. So the bridge and the neck. That's fine. And this is supposed to be a ground, and it is, and it goes back to the pot right here. So this switch now, there should only be one lead on this, and that goes from here. Switch, the signal wire goes down to the tone to that right pot, or right lug, sorry, right there. So let's get back to this tone. Flip it over. Move this over a bit. Yeah, these wires are just tangled over each other, but if I look at the diagram, that's coming from the switch, yeah, to this right lug. That's good. Then this wire, the output should be going to the output jack, yeah. And then the other ground should be coming to the pot, and then we have our capacitor, which is on the middle lug in the body. Okay. There's always something, right, missing in this loop. It could be the ground. We'll see. Let me plug it in again. So it looks like everything, excuse me, it looks like everything follows the wiring diagram. And there could be, but it's usually the grounds that cause a problem. So what I'm going to do is, because all these grounds are sort of intertangled with each other and whatever, I'm just going to clean all these up. Like, look at this here, it's all around. This one's, you know, all top. So I'm going to clean those up. I'll start with that, see if that helps anything. Okay, I've cleaned up a lot of these ground joints and that, but I think I figured out what the issue is, or was. So when you look at the diagram, if you look from the bridge, so from the master tone, if we look at the wire that goes to the switch, and we look at these two wires that come from the bridge and the neck, so the bridge and the neck, obviously they go on the opposite sides of the switch, but it was this middle wire. So this middle wire is actually the output wire that goes to the tone and then goes to the output jack. It was switched with the ground wire that goes to the neck pot. So this wire was here, that wire was there, so it wasn't obvious. Sometimes it's not easy. I think that's the issue, so let's flip it over. And the proof will be in the pudding, right? Alright, just move the camera up a bit. So we're going to plug it in, turn it on, and we'll do the tap test. Oh, we have sound. So this switch is in the middle position, so we should have both neck and bridge. Turn the volume down. Yeah, so that's normal. That's not normal. So 2 volumes off. Okay, let's go to the bridge, neck. That's good. Let's go to the bridge. Good. And this is a tone, right? I can hear a difference. Okay, I think we've figured it out. Well, we'll call this one done. Let's give it a little wipe. Let's pick up covers, look a little shinier. So, helps to have a diagram. Just sometimes it's not entirely clear, and I think in this case, this is usually, if we look in this diagram, maybe it's easy or hard to see, I'm not sure. But that's usually the ground right there. But on the switch that we have in this guitar, it's not like that. So normally that would be the ground, I should say. So you would have the 2 pickups, so the bridge and the neck, and then the shared output in the middle, and this would be the ground. But in this diagram, for this particular switch they're showing, you can see this is the hot signal going to what should be the ground, but it's actually the shared signal. So I think that was a confusion right here. So I was just realized, you know, that should be hot, so it shouldn't be going to a ground. So when I looked at the switch, I figured that out. So anyways, trial and error, right? Sometimes the diagrams are perfect, sometimes they're not. Sometimes your brain doesn't work too well after a while. Alright, I think that's it for now. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.